When my husband returned from a work trip, sun-kissed and smiling like nothing had changed, he expected the house to welcome him back. The lights on, the scent of lavender, the life he had left behind still waiting. But instead, he found silence, darkness, and a locked door that no longer recognized him. What he didn't know was this: while he was building memories with another woman under golden sunsets, I was quietly erasing his place in my life, piece by piece, until there was nothing left for him to return to. He stood there outside the house longer than he expected to, his hand still resting on the door handle, as if it might suddenly recognize him again, as if the life he had walked away from would quietly forgive him and open itself back up. At first, there was confusion on his face, a small, almost amused smile, like this was some kind of mistake. Maybe the lock was jammed. Maybe I had changed it for security. Maybe there was a simple explanation waiting just inside. But as seconds turned into minutes, that smile began to fade. He stepped back, looked around the porch, the windows, the garden. Everything was still there, yet something felt different, distant, unfamiliar, like the house itself no longer belonged to him. He knocked once, lightly, then again, harder this time, as if I might appear from inside and fix everything with one explanation. But no one came. The silence was heavy, deliberate, almost symbolic. Across the street, sitting quietly in my sister's car, I watched every second unfold. My fingers were calm in my lap, but inside, my heart was racing, not from fear, not even from anger, but from the weight of finally reaching a moment I had replayed in my mind countless times. I had imagined shouting at him, imagined confronting him with every lie, every photo, every late-night excuse that now made perfect sense. But standing there, watching him face the consequences without a single word from me, I realized something powerful. Silence was louder. Because this wasn't just about a locked door. This was about a man realizing, slowly and painfully, that the life he thought would always be waiting for him had already moved on. And the more he stood there, trying to make sense of it, the clearer it became. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't temporary. This was the beginning of everything he had never prepared to lose.
I didn't confront him when I first found out, and that was the part that would later haunt him the most. There were no dramatic scenes, no broken plates, no late-night accusations echoing through the house. Instead, there was silence, quiet, controlled, almost invisible. The kind of silence that hides decisions being made in the background. The truth didn't come to me all at once. It revealed itself slowly, piece by piece, like a puzzle I never wanted to complete. A tagged photo here, a careless comment there, a smile on his face that I hadn't seen in months. Not with me. I remember staring at those images, him standing beside her, relaxed, happy, effortless, like the version of himself I used to know. And for a moment, I questioned everything. Was I not enough? Had I missed something? Had our marriage been fading while I was still trying to hold it together? But that moment didn't last long, because clarity, once it arrives, doesn't leave room for denial. I realized something important. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't confusion. It was a choice. A series of deliberate decisions he made while still coming home to me, still sharing a bed with me, still letting me believe we were intact. And in that realization, something inside me shifted permanently. I stopped waiting for explanations. I stopped hoping he would come clean. Instead, I started observing, quietly, carefully. I watched his patterns, his excuses, the way he checked his phone when he thought I wasn't looking, the way his attention had already drifted somewhere else. And while he was living in that illusion, Thinking he was managing 2 lives without consequences, I was slowly stepping out of it. I began gathering everything I needed: documents, financial records, information he assumed I would never understand. I sat across from a lawyer, calm and composed, discussing my rights as if I were talking about someone else's life. But it wasn't someone else's life, it was mine, and for the first time in a long time, I was taking control of it. There were nights I cried, yes, but never in front of him. Never in a way that would give him the satisfaction of seeing me break. My pain became private, structured, almost purposeful, because every tear, every sleepless night was slowly turning into something else: strength. By the time he packed his suitcase for that work trip, kissing my forehead like everything was normal, I already knew the truth. And more importantly, I had already decided I wasn't going to fight for a man who had quietly stopped choosing me. I was going to let him go, completely, permanently. And when he came back, expecting everything to still be in place, he would finally understand that while he was building a life somewhere else, I was ending ours.
Selling the house wasn't an impulsive decision. It was the most calculated, deliberate step I had ever taken, and every part of it carried a quiet kind of finality that even I didn't fully understand until it was done. That house wasn't just bricks and walls. It was years of memories, routines, compromises, and pieces of myself I had poured into making it feel like home. I remembered choosing the paint colors, arguing over furniture, planting roses in the garden with the belief that we were building something permanent. And yet, as I walked through each room in those final days, it no longer felt like mine or ours. It felt like a place that belonged to a version of me that had already outgrown it. When the buyers came, a young couple, full of excitement and hope, I watched them move through the space with fresh eyes. They admired the kitchen island, the sunlight in the living room, the small details I had once taken pride in. They saw a future there, while I was quietly closing a chapter. I smiled, answered their questions, even shared small stories about the house. But inside, I was detaching with every word. Because I knew something they didn't. This wasn't just a sale, it was a release. Signing those papers felt surreal, almost too calm for something so significant. There was no dramatic moment, no breakdown, no second guessing. Just a steady hand and a clear mind. The legal process moved quickly, efficiently, almost as if everything was aligning with a decision I had already made emotionally long before. When the final confirmation came through, when the house officially no longer belonged to us, I sat in the empty living room for a moment, surrounded by silence. Not the painful kind, but a quiet that felt like closure. I thought about all the nights I had spent trying to fix something that was already broken. All the times I had chosen patience over confrontation, hope over reality. And in that moment, I understood something deeply. This house had held our life together for years, but it had also held me back from seeing the truth. By letting it go, I wasn't losing anything. I was freeing myself from a space that no longer reflected who I had become. And the most powerful part? He had no idea. While he was away, living in a fantasy he believed he could return from without consequence, I was dismantling the very foundation he thought would always be waiting for him. By the time he stepped off that plane, smiling, relaxed, unaware, the life he expected to come home to had already been carefully, quietly erased. When the truth finally reached him, it didn't come all at once. It unfolded slowly, painfully, like a reality he kept trying to reject even as it stood right in front of him. At first, there was denial. He called me repeatedly, his voice shifting from confusion to irritation, as if this was just a misunderstanding I needed to fix. He expected me to answer, to explain, to reassure him that everything was still under control. But I let the phone ring, again and again, because for once, I wasn't the one responsible for managing his emotions or cleaning up his chaos. When I finally answered, it wasn't out of weakness or longing, it was closure. My voice was steady, calm in a way that even surprised me. There was no anger left to fuel a reaction, no need to raise my voice or demand accountability. And that unsettled him more than anything else ever could. He wanted a fight. He wanted tears, accusations, something that would allow him to shift blame or justify himself. But I gave him nothing except the truth, delivered without emotion. I told him the house had been legally sold, that everything had been handled properly, that his share would be processed according to the law. Simple, clear, final. There was a long pause on the other end of the line, the kind of silence where reality finally starts to sink in. And then came the panic. His voice cracked slightly as he asked questions he should have asked himself long before. Where would he go? What was he supposed to do? How could I make such a drastic decision without telling him? The irony almost felt surreal. A man who had spent weeks building a life with someone else, without a single thought for how it would affect me, was now questioning how I could move forward without his permission. But I didn't argue. I didn't remind him of his lies or the photos or the betrayal. I simply told him something he wasn't ready to hear, that he was free now. Free to continue the life he had chosen, free to be with the woman he had prioritized, free from a marriage he had already abandoned long before I made it official. And before he could respond, before he could twist the conversation into something else, I ended the call. Not abruptly, not emotionally, just deliberately. Because that moment wasn't about hurting him. It was about releasing myself from a cycle where I had always been the one holding everything together. For the first time, I let him sit alone with the consequences of his choices. And in that silence, without my presence to soften the impact, he finally began to understand something he had never considered. That actions don't always explode into chaos. Sometimes they unravel quietly, leaving nothing behind but a reality you can no longer escape. But reality has a way of stripping away illusions, and what once felt like a perfect escape for him slowly began to reveal its cracks in the most ordinary, uncomfortable ways. The same woman who had laughed with him under sunset skies, who had held his hand without hesitation, now had to face the version of him that came without filters, tired, stressed, uncertain, and suddenly dependent. There were no more hotel rooms or carefully planned dinners, no more temporary excitement fueled by secrecy and distance. Instead, there were mornings where space felt too small, conversations that carried weight instead of excitement, and a presence that no longer felt like a choice, but an obligation. At first, she tried to adjust, to maintain the illusion that what they had was still special, still worth everything he had risked. She made space for him, physically and emotionally, but slowly, almost imperceptibly, the dynamic began to shift. Because the truth is, it's easy to love someone when they arrive in moments. It's much harder when they arrive with permanence. He started noticing things he hadn't before. The way she valued her independence, the way her patience thinned when his stress filled the room, the way their conversations no longer flowed as effortlessly as they once did. And she began to see him differently too. Not as the confident man who chose her, but as someone who had left behind an entire life without fully understanding what he was stepping into. The questions started small at first. How long he planned to stay, what his financial situation looked like, how the divorce process would unfold. But beneath those questions was something deeper, doubt. Because the fantasy they had built didn't include legal paperwork, divided assets, or the reality of starting over from nothing. Her family, who had once welcomed him so warmly, began to view the situation with caution. The same man who had seemed charming and committed on vacation now appeared complicated, unpredictable, and tied to a past that wasn't fully resolved. And slowly, the atmosphere around him changed. The warmth faded. The certainty disappeared. He could feel it in the way she looked at him, in the pauses between conversations, in the subtle distance that began to grow between them. For the first time, he wasn't the center of something exciting. He was part of something uncertain. And that realization unsettled him in ways he couldn't ignore. Because deep down, beneath all the justifications he had created, he began to understand a truth he had been avoiding from the beginning. What they had built together wasn't strong enough to replace what he had destroyed. It had been thrilling, yes. It had felt new, yes. But now, faced with the reality of everyday life, it was fragile, and slowly, quietly, it was starting to fall apart. Meanwhile, my life was no longer defined by what I had lost, but by what I was slowly, intentionally rebuilding with my own hands. The silence that once felt heavy and uncertain had transformed into something peaceful, something I could finally breathe in without fear, doubt, or emotional exhaustion. Every corner of my new life reflected that change. My mornings were no longer filled with anxiety or overthinking, but with clarity and purpose. I focused on work, on personal growth, on rediscovering parts of myself that had been buried under years of compromise and emotional neglect. There were no more waiting games, no more checking phones in silence, no more carrying the emotional weight of someone who had already left long before they physically walked away. I learned to enjoy my own company again. I learned that peace is not something that arrives suddenly. It is something you create slowly, by removing everything that disturbs it. And as time passed, I realized something powerful. I was no longer surviving my life. I was living it. The version of me that once questioned her worth, that once tried to hold together something falling apart, no longer existed in the same way. In her place was someone steadier, calmer, and far more self-aware. I wasn't bitter, and I wasn't chasing revenge. I was simply moving forward, and that forward movement was something he could no longer interrupt. I heard bits and pieces of his life through distant updates, how things were not as perfect as they once seemed, how the excitement had faded, how reality had started to settle in. But those stories no longer had power over me. They felt distant, like they belonged to a different lifetime. Because while he was learning the cost of choices made in haste, I was learning the value of patience, self-respect, and emotional independence. And one day, when I looked at my reflection, I didn't see pain anymore. I saw growth. I saw strength. I saw a woman who had walked through betrayal and come out whole on the other side. Not because life was kind to her, but because she refused to stay broken. And in that moment, I understood something deeply. Closure doesn't always come from apologies or explanations. Sometimes it comes when you finally stop needing them. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more emotional stories like this. Because your support helps bring more powerful stories like this one.